Hello. How are you? Look, there's just so many daffodils already. Got a whole row of them over there. It's only just the 4th of March right now. Only just that. But we've had a few 80-degree days in February. We'll take a look at the conversion soon. So since I can't ski, I've been out here putzing around in the garden. I may have mentioned that I'm working on closing off at least this portion of the nursery, at least for now, at least at the current time, and rehoming a bunch of plants that I'm just not committed enough to sell. I don't ship, but if you're local and want, let me know. That's a heck of a weed right there. And it's not going to come out neither. Oh, jeez. So, everything through here is still a big mess because the raccoons have been stirring it up all winter. And every time I put anything out, as much of it goes in a raccoon belly as goes in the compost. Oh boy. The wall, my friend Rose came over and we put the old ramp for the shed there. My friend Rose came over and helped me get the worst of it out of here. This was all standing when we were done, but then another row, I don't know, perhaps got hopped on by a deer. At any rate, it fell. So, I'm not convinced I'm going to continue to use a retainer wall. This was specifically designed by the previous owner that there would be exactly enough space for a lawnmower to go through. I feel like if it rounds itself down and lands in there a little bit, if I can still get through it all, I'm happy. So I may just have a low berm. I'm slowly pulling the pots out of here. The still potted thornless raspberries, there's 3 big pots of those. I'm going to put by the bit of plastic fence that's right here, past there, and that'll protect them from the deer coming through and eating the ends off of every single stick. So I should get a lot more harvest in that case. Even with twisting those 3 out, there's still going to be plenty here. And then I need to find where all the pots of the clove currant are, because I'd like to fill those with clove currant for the gallon size ones. Yeah, look at that mess that the raccoons made. Good golly. It's 40 degrees today, so it's much more reasonable of a temperature for this time of year. Snowdrops are also really happy, especially the ones in the shade. They're not fading yet. That's a, what you call it? It's my rhubarb coming up. I have a lot of rhubarbs around here. The tapping you can hear is the quail drinking their water back there. You can see that, pecking at the blue. Nice drinkies. I've got a little slightly golden Pharaoh wild type right here. Huh? You running? Okay. Yeah, they're basically set up in a bunker because raccoons are hard to keep out of the quail cage. Really, really difficult. I have been feeding my weeds into them. They don't really care. They barely touch it. But, at least the weeds get dead. They at least get trampled, if nothing else. I put down a good bit of food on the ground, too. Because your one food bin needed refilled, and then everybody was fighting when the food was all just in one spot, huh? Yeah, you were. Hey, Yellow Spark. Hey, Skeksis. That's one of the roosters right there. Yep, so that's the quail. I've been back and forth on, like, what amount of commitment I want to continue doing to the quail. I've seen that well cared for domestic ones can live up to 5 years, especially if they don't lay in the winter time. When I got them, I heard they're supposed to live 2 years. I mean, I don't know why the information of reality that people are reporting is different than... But at any rate, it'll be a good blueberry enclosure if I ever decide to take a break from quail. But it's going really well, I guess, for now. I finally got a defroster in the water bin, and they got their food hoppers in there. Could probably take out a couple of the wood ones because they started really liking the plastic rain barriers, and those are easier to take care of and see them through anyway. So I might just do that. Got more. Look at how many snowdrops there are back here. And I have a cluster of crocus that are trying to enter the walkway. This walkway back here in general is getting way too narrow from the daffodils for the most part. But this cluster of crocus is getting really overcrowded, and I want to line them up maybe on the back of that edge. The trellises against the green wall are for the ground nut that grows there. I still have carrot seeds standing there inside this enclosure. I can get close and show it. Carrot seeds. And those are proper carrots. They're not Queen Anne's lace or anything like that. So hopefully I can have some carrots. I don't know what color they'll be because they only had 2 overwinter well enough to have seeds. It was supposed to be a rainbow mix, but I don't think I got the whole rainbow. I've already got flowers on my... Oh, what are these called? These little blueberries, but they're not blueberries. They're very, very early spring, and they're a little bit elongated. They're like that big and elongated. And haskap, there we go. So I've already got flowers on the haskap. They are the first fruit of the year, every year for sure. And then I had to put a protection surround going around this. This one's another Saskatoon that flowered and fruited last year. This is aronia berry. Over here is St. John's, J-A-H-N, gooseberry right here. And I wanted to learn how thorny it is, and I think I've learned that. There's weeds in there, but these are somewhat rather spiny. Oh, those are really sharp, yeah. So that's why I left it potted for a year. is to figure out what I was going to do related to how stabby it was going to be. Over here, I have one pot of the clove currant. Some of my blackberries on the trellis there are starting to leaf out. And one sand cherry tree that survived right there is starting to leaf out. I haven't seen leaves yet on my Illinois mulberry. I'm sure I will. But the elderberry and the pawpaws are leafing out. And if we can get away with going over here without getting interrupted by a neighbor, I do want to show that I almost got hazelnuts a few years ago, but the neighbor trimmed these and cut everything off. But it's possible that I might get hazelnuts this year. These are native type hazelnuts. Not the improved variety that I later got. But true, like full native. The improved variety I later got keep getting mowed down by bunny rabbits. I may have to do a lot more to protect them. Because even the snake root may not have been enough, I'm not sure. Snake root is an excellent fence. I'm seeing a little bit of budding on the persimmon. I think this is Meter, which is a self-fruiting seedless variety. Probably polyphenocarpic. Have no idea how to pronounce that, but that's the produces fruit even if not fertilized. That's a purple plum here, and then these raspberries are really leafing out. Have a bunch of potted Saskatoon over there, and a bunch of potted Prunus pennsylvanica, really sweet fruit cherry trees. They're delicious. The cherries are tiny, but who cares? These are so much more vibrant in the daytime. If you're interested in seeing these open and wide open in the daytime when I'm usually too busy to take a whole heckin' video, then head on over to my Instagram. It's still Cliffside Permaculture, and I took quite a few photos of them with their bells open. So yeah, right along here, probably move that board. Right along the back of here is where I'm thinking for the encroaching crocus. I don't see anything poking up from the asparagus just yet, but to be fair, that's usually quite a lot later. It's like next month. And I have not yet taken down the last year's fronds either. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a couple daffodils back in here too that are open. One behind the Joe Pye, one in front. I folded the walkway cardboard back and moved this rock because these were totally underneath. And that's why some of the leaves of the daffodils here are really yellow, is because they're coming up underneath the walkway. So, locals only, but if you need daffodils, please speak up. I'm not shipping nothing, I'm sorry. I'm tired. So, yeah. Because the daffodils are both overcrowded and too close to the walkway and in places that I kind of no longer want them to be. I'll save a couple out of each clump that I dig up so that I have every single variety. This was a hybridizer's mix from Brex. I think Brex, years ago, and the snowdrops are from an abandoned lot after they tore down the house where people were selling and using out of. After they tore that down the street, I went in the yard and definitely had to go around a few bulky stabbies to get them out. But there's one variety of daffodil I got out of that yard, and then I got just a few snowdrops, but oh, have they popped off. They're everywhere, as you can see from this angle. It's just so many. The little white dots everywhere, those are all snowdrop flowers. So that is what is going on out here. Everything's still pretty dormant, but things are definitely leafing out. It is March now. In recent years, over the last 5 years, often we get our most inches of snow in late March, though. So we may yet get a big douse of winter. And I'm not worried about that. With the flowers, I like to say they're Dutch. They can handle it. And I say that referring to the fact that they are evolved to come up when it's still going to get cold again. And in fact, they will stay pretty longer the colder it is. Provided they don't get knocked down by the snow, because them getting shoved into the dirt by a heavy snow can certainly foil their plans. But much like an avocado that goes ripe and then bad really fast when the weather is warm, when it's outside of the refrigerator, it's similar with these, that they go overripe and turn to seed really fast when the weather is warm. And then if you put the avocado in the fridge, you would quickly see that the ripeness level will stay much closer to the same. And that's similar with daffodils, crocuses, early spring bulbs in general. They will stay in bloom longer if it is colder, much like a refrigeration effect. I'm excited that my quince, my fruiting quince here, has little green dots all over it. I'm really hoping that I'll get to see what kind of fruit that has one of these years. Might not be this year. Might be a couple more years before I get to find out. Oh, in this row, like right here, those daffodils have little orange centers. They're very cute. Let's see if I can show it. I really hope that the stabilization on my new phone is pretty good, because it's so much easier to get these taken and uploaded for you guys. Yeah, see? Just a little bit orange there. It's much easier when I don't have to do editing and I can just upload. Yeah. More elderberry. Couple of coppiced ash trees. Coppiced means cut down at the ground and let to regrow. Red twig dogwood. Yeah, and it's a really nice day, so I hope you enjoyed the little tour. I was sick a couple weeks ago. It's not COVID, just regular cold, but I still got a little bit of a lingering cough. So I hope you enjoyed that little tour. It doesn't include the hill because I just don't feel like it right now. Oh, this is my grape. This is a Concord grape that I've done my best to train. It does seem like it survived. I had to get a whole bunch of lanternfly off of it because they were trying to lay their eggs on the root, trunk rather, the main trunk. I'm hoping I still have a grape here as well. That one's newer. Can you see it? Yeah, this twig right here. Hopefully that also survived. I have yet to see any lanternfly egg masses, though I did see a few lanternflies up here last year. So I guess we'll find out how that's going to go. But thanks so much for visiting the cliffside. Water's a bit high. Wow. This has been permaculture. And I hope you take care. Bye.